Man, another day, another live stream. We're here in the heart of the Permian Basin, Odessa, Texas. Tally Book Troubleshooting brought to you by American Safety Services. Call us today for all your environmental and safety site solutions, PPE, you name it, permit. We got rescue crews. Give us a call today. I'm your host, Keith Stelter, trying to bring a little positive PR and a little bit of information, one interview at a time, one subject matter expert at a time. We get all kinds of good stories on here, and we try and show that there's a lot more to the oil field than just big trucks and guys that curse a lot, even though that's kind of part of the fun as well. Uh, Let me know where you're watching from. Send in a comment, say hello. We're here for a good cause today, a couple good causes, and there's a few coming up here this week. Today, we're talking about the Permian Basin Oilmen's Bass Invitational, which is raising money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. But before we get to that, this weekend on the 13th, April 13th, we're getting together to pick up some trash around the Permian Basin. Reach out to Dave. I'll get you in contact with all the folks while I'm kind of leading it up too, so you can just reach out to me. We're meeting about 9 a.m. There's a vacant lot between the Sewell dealership and the Chick-fil-A off of 191, just on the east side of Odessa. Meet us there. Come pick up some trash. We're going to go around to a couple other vacant lots, maybe out to 3503, and just pick up some of the big stuff there. It's bad out there, but we're going to do our part to make it a little bit better. Also, April 17th, Social Octane is coming out to the Permian. They're going to have their golf games, and they're going to be out at Ratcliffe Golf Course. Check it out if you haven't already attended or signed up. I think they're sold out for sponsors, but I think they got some room for a few teams. Reach out today. Get a hold of them. It's always a good time. A lot of great other initiatives going on. I guess there's a few other trash pickups going on as well. Now, if you can't make it out this Saturday for a trash pickup, come out next Friday, not this Friday, and out in Midland, Pro Petro and I think it's Silvertip is actually organizing one for Midland. And I see that the city and the county had a little bit, so looks like some good things. I know people have always been dogging on the Permian for having too much trash, but you know what? It's windy out here. The trash cans get tipped over. They get blow out of the trucks. People are coming through here all the time. Give us a little bit of, time and we'll get it cleaned up. They used to have a little bit of more people involved with it, but COVID slowed it down. So here we are trying to pick it back up again. Now, fishing, if that's your thing, Del Rio, Texas. I went last year and it was quite a good time. Met a lot of great people and got to do some interviews with the types of folks I don't usually get to. It's always usually oil field folks, but I got to interview a few Make-A-Wish recipients. They're mothers of a few recipients. And let me tell you, it can get a little teary-eyed. You don't know exactly how the interview is going to go one way or the other. You think, Make-A-Wish, maybe their son or daughter didn't make it. But a lot of times I'm learning that the Make-A-Wish Foundation, when they grant these wishes, they do give the kids a lot of extra oomph, and they end up pulling through what they're dealing with. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring on the president of the Permian Basin Oilmen's Bass Invitational, Mr. Dale Welch. Sir, thank you for coming on. I'll let you introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are, and we'll bring on the other guests here as you finish.
Thanks, Keith. Appreciate you coming back this year, and we're literally looking forward to it. These podcasts have really got better, our news out there better than they have in the past with what we've done. So, as you said, my name is Dale Welch. I'm the president of the PBOBI this year. This will be my third year. This is our 29th annual tournament. We've had over $5 million raised over the years in their 29 years, and we've been in Del Rio. This will be our 13th year in Del Rio. And, the lake's low, but here we go again. And we're going to raise a lot of good money and have a really good time.
Hey, that's what it's about, right? It's a good cause, and why not have fun while you're doing it? That's a twofer in my book. Bring it on. Oh, go ahead.
Well, that is the second mission of the tournament. The first mission when we first started 29 years ago was to create fellowship in the oil field. And when we all got together, we decided we need to get a little bigger than that. So we added the charity, which was the Make-A-Wish, and they've been with us ever since. So we basically have a two-stage mission statement, which is fellowship across the oil field. We're not just competitors out there. We all get together and do good work for a good cause. And then with Make-A-Wish, we get to help families in need.
Sounds awesome to me. Connor, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I hope the internet doesn't crash like it did last year. Remember what I told you. Just keep on going. It's up to you to carry it on. Tell everybody who you are and what you do.
Yeah, Connor Mckown. During the day, I'm a drilling engineer. Evenings, we work on supporting Make-A-Wish. We've been working on weigh-ins for the past 4 years with PBOBI. Previously, before that, I fished it for 2 years and just kind of fell in love with the tournament. My boss was the previous president of PBOBI, so it kind of roped me into that, and I've been there ever since.
Glad to have you on, and thanks for what you're doing with this tournament. Man, when I learned about it, never heard about it, and glad to help get the word out and get a few more fishermen out there too. And we got one more this year. Mr. Koby West, thank you for coming on. Tell everybody who you are and what you're doing with the tournament.
Yeah, Koby West. Like Connor said, by day, work as finance and treasury for Endeavor, and been here for 7 years. I've been involved with PBOBI since I think it was 2019, around the same time Connor was as well. And it was Cole Qualls, our former president, that also worked here at Endeavor, that got me involved. Went down that first year and just kind of fell in love with just the vibe of the tournament. And like Dale said, like the first mission of fellowship is definitely there. It's just a lot of good people, a lot of good times. And then the fact that in just a single weekend, the generosity of the fishermen and the people involved, that we can raise as much money as we have, it's truly a blessing to be able to do that. And to have that happen in just a single weekend is phenomenal. And so to have something that's fun, but is also benefiting a great cause. I mean, what a great combination, and just a lot of fun to be a part of.
The oil field seems to be, an industry that kind of, really tries to make a lot of those kind of events happen. We're having fun, but we're generally raising money for good causes. How far do people come to attend this? Is this only Permian Basin? Do people come from Houston or New Mexico or Oklahoma to attend this tournament? Anybody?
Yeah, New Mexico. That's right. So I started with a little brief kind of introduction of kind of what PBOBI is. We started in 1995 with the intent of, like Dale said, promoting kind of camaraderie between oilfield workers, but has since transformed into that charitable fundraiser. After the first 7 years, we actually brought in the New Mexico chapter just because of how many sponsorships and participants were actually coming from New Mexico and far out west there. During the weigh-in, we actually have a lot of help from Tanmar and those guys, and a lot of them are from Louisiana. So we've got some stretch there, Louisiana and Mexico, kind of bordering states. I can't speak to Oklahoma or any of those other states, but yeah, it's been great. Since we've started, we've actually donated approximately $6 million over to Make-A-Wish. So it's been awesome.
Did I hear you right? $6 million?
Bill, is that correct?
Yeah, for over the 29 years, we've done really well.
Yeah, and it gets split 50-50 between Texas and New Mexico. So the North Texas chapter of which covers the Permian Basin portion of Texas, and then the New Mexico chapter, we split it 50-50.
Over the years, it's changed. It's been up and it's been down, but over the last 5 years, we averaged somewhere around a neighborhood of $180,000 to $200,000 given. We split that evenly between the Make-A-Wish North Texas chapter, which includes 52 counties, all of the Permian Basin, all the way down to the Del Rio sector. We've even had a couple of Make-A-Wish families from Del Rio come up to the tournament and visit with us down there. And as far as teams goes, over the years, we've had them from different places. Some people have come in from Houston, a couple from Oklahoma City. It's an invitational, but the invitation is this: if you earn 90% of your income directly from the oil field, you're invited. And we're only limited by the size of the tournament we can have. I think currently, Connor, I don't know about this, I think we're limited to 250 boats per tournament. We haven't reached that quite a few years. Back in early 2000s, we had a couple of 250-year stuff. It kind of settled out to around 200 teams. That's around 400 people, and we all get together and have a real good time and raise a lot of good money. And if you ever want to see some bunch of grown oil field people cry, is come up to the tournament and watch one of these videos every now and then. They will pull at your heartstrings, but it's worth every minute of it. And the great thing we found out a couple of years ago from scientific studies out of Israel that granting these wishes actually has improved health on these children. And it's not that it makes them recover. They're probably going to recover, but it gives everybody an opportunity to take a break and then really blossom, if you would. It gets them out of that drudge of every day, and it can flip a switch and something happens wonderful, and we all love it that way.
Well,
Yeah, I think it gives them hope, and it gives them, some time to just bond with their family that's kind of away from the hospital or away from doctors' offices, and just something positive that's, specialized to what they're interested in. So
the one lady, the one mother, I think she was taking pictures there last year. When I interviewed her, you were like, "Go ahead, Keith, go ahead and interview her," and I was like, her son received this, like it was, I believe it was like 10 years ago or something. I was like, is he like? How do I ask? The question is your son still around? And it turned out to be a great story. They, here I am thinking these wishes are just, trips to Disneyland or something. And he wanted to be an Army Ranger, and they took him out and they had him in the beach and at 4 a.m. and shooting live rounds. And turns out he's, going to graduate soon. So I was like, oh, okay. Whew, he's, everything gave him the strength to recover. And it ended up being a wonderful story where he might get the chance to actually serve in a non-combat role, which was always kind of his dream as a kid. And I was just taken aback that some of the stories that some of the Make-A-Wish ladies shared as well. So I won't try and break anybody down sharing some of those, but it was definitely an exercise for me to try and keep the interview going. What's the farthest away anybody's ever come from to attend the tournament? Are you guys still looking for people right now? I take it you are.
We'll take walk-ins up there as long as they can verify that they are employed. So if they have a company email that we can email and they can respond to it, we will take that qualification as that they will. We prefer them to be mailed in, but right now we can't take mail-ins because we're all going to be leaving for the lake on Tuesday. And so they'll be here and we won't have them. So we need to make sure we have boat insurance and all that other stuff, but they can walk up to the tournament and we'll take them. So we're still taking teams and we will, until the National Park Service says till we have too many. So I don't think we'll have that problem this year and everything.
Yeah,
I do have an update on that story you were talking about. Alex going to graduate this year, and earlier, I think it was after the tournament, he was declared disease free by his doctor. Over the years, he went into treatment and got his wish back when he was like in 2012 when he was a little kid. He's also become a champion roper.
I didn't know that part.
Him and his brother both rope. They live on a ranch up in New Mexico and up at Capitan, and they've both been roping and they're doing real good. And he's doing online high school because out of choice, and he's going to graduate this year. And hopefully go off to college. And I think since he's been declared, he's gonna try to. He may be talking about enlisting and fulfilling that dream, but we'll see how that all turns out. I don't, people change their mind over the years, but he's doing great, and it's wonderful. They were supposed to come down this year, but he's got to go get a checkup. So yeah, they're still monitoring everything, but he's doing really well. And he had to take on a big role this summer because his dad and his little brother had a 4-wheeler accident. So he had to actually run the ranch for a few weeks. So they were both in the hospital for a few days. So they had a close call, but they're all right now, and they're doing real good. So those are the kind of stories we love. We had one girl since she was 6 years old, but we got invited to her graduation. We got invited to her wedding. We got, it's unbelievable.
That's wonderful.
Some of the stories. They haven't all been happy. We had one little child that we've had from 7 to 15. He came to our tournament, wheelchair bound, but he still had to get in the boat, and he made us all pick him up and put him in the boat to go riding. But he finally passed when he was 15, but he lived a great life for that short time. And so, yeah, there's a lot of tears we shed, but being around those families and being around those kids to understand what strength and resilience really looks like, I don't have any issues. We think we do, but I don't.
Oh, very true. Getting out there, we got the Make-A-Wish stories. What about the fishing stories? I know it's a fishing tournament. You want to entice some guys to come out. What anything caught out there that maybe shouldn't have been caught, or
This big.
that big? Exactly. It's been around a long time. Anything stand out in your mind that's happened that you're like, man, I can't believe this happened?
I think we've had a lady catch the biggest bass, and I missed last year, but the previous 3 years, 2 out of 3 years, I think she's caught the biggest bass. So you guys better step your game up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The same woman won 2 years in a row?
Yeah, she was I know she won biggest bass, and I think it was 2021. But then the following year, she got, I think, second largest. So we give out a trophy.
Oh, and her and her husband, I think it's her husband she fishes with, they're consistently in the top 10 there every year. They are excellent anglers. They do a really good job. We've had some wild stuff, I guess. We had a boat beach itself a couple of years ago, right? That happened.
Yeah, need to be safe out
That
there.
may not be a slight positive thing, but it's still one of those things. When
excitement.
Somebody showed me the
Still
picture of it setting up on the bank, I was going, well, that's you need to try a trailer every now and then. But
Now I got to ask you this, we have your fishermen in the well industry, go down and get things that fallen down whole. Have any of those guys stuck out in your mind who's actually a fisherman on a well? Can they actually fish in a lake as well? Anybody stick out in your mind? There'd be
Albert Mays just joined us. He's at Blue Hook, and I think he's fished it a couple years. I have to go check the rankings and see if he's actually good at fishing
Yeah.
You have to go back and look at prior years.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, Albert's on the board now, so we'll have to see if he actually is a good fisherman. In both
if you can do it in one place, you should be able to do it in the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think if people were just curious about kind of what to expect, if somebody was on the fence about coming and was interested, I mean, the tournament obviously kind of starts in the morning, and the weigh-ins kind of mid-afternoon, but in the evenings that's really where the networking and the fellowship comes in. And so Friday evening, there's no organized event, but we've got, how many teams is it cooking this year? At the event center, the Civic Center in downtown, kind of in Del Rio, we'll have a handful of cooking teams from some companies out there making dinner for everybody, and people can just kind of come and go and get to spend some time, some networking, and get to know each other. And then Saturday night, we kind of have more of our big event where Make-A-Wish does a presentation. We do door prizes, we do an auction, we do raffle, and the big item for people that haven't been in the tournament before is that we raffle off a boat. When the raffle is only open to fishermen, but it is obviously a popular item because somebody makes a donation into the raffle and can walk away with a pretty nice boat. And so That's kind of what the schedule looks like, but it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Do you
we're getting
guys have any way for people who can't make the tournament to donate money to help increase your funds, or is it the only way to do it is to be at the tournament?
Well, obviously, we'll take donations anytime we don't have an organized outside the event donation schedule. We encourage people to donate to the Make-A-Wish Foundation whenever they get an opportunity in any event that they have. And they have some of their own events. And Make-A-Wish North Texas has reopened their office in Midland, and they have a girl that works here. And so they're having several events themselves. We've talked about that, and that may be something that we do in the future and everything, but currently that's the way we are. So, yeah, like Koby said, on Friday night, we'll have, on Thursday at registration,
That's
Baker
true.
comes
Thursday
out.
too.
They cook sausage and pork chops all day long while people are drifting in and out and registering, and we'll do that. Then on Friday, it'll be Lucky Services, Smart Chemicals, Stable Drill, and Tanmar will have their cooking teams out there, or their cooking rigs, and they have varied menus and everything. And then we'll have the event center inside open. And when they come in, get their food and come inside the event center, then we'll have a few little items that we do in there. We're having our last meeting today before we leave, so we're kind of get the outline together about what the schedule will actually be on Friday. People know to show up and come get some food and chit chat around before they do anything else over there. And then on Saturday, we have our formal meal. We'll have a big fish fry that we put on, and everybody will be there. And that's when all the big giveaways are. We've got a 21-foot Camus boat again to give away this year. We've got a custom made 300 blackout rifle to give away. Our stuff raffle includes all kinds of items that we usually have out there. So Sarah from the Make-A-Wish in North Texas got donated a wine tour we're going to probably auction off when we get down there and do all that stuff. So yeah, Friday night's just kind of a good party, and we try to be fast and quick and get them out of there, but because everybody's chomping at the bit to see who wins that boat. And you have to be careful to be finished before you say the number for the boat, because as soon as that number goes, if you're standing in the door, you're run over.
Yes, sir. No,
Yeah.
I was very impressed how everything was handled there last year. It was a great event. My family enjoyed it as well. If somebody, they're late, they think, man, there's no hotels or places to stay. If they reach out to you, do you all have any coordinated places or advice to them if they've never been out there to attend the tournament?
I think this week will not be, or next week will not be a problem. Last year we happened to coincide with the George Paul Memorial Bull Riding, or Super Bull they call it, and so rooms got a little scarce there for a while. We usually have we have an agreement with the Ramada, and they keep us up every year. There's probably a few extra rooms over there all the time because we usually book a whole set of rooms, and we never use all of them. So we could probably have some rooms, but I don't think it'll be a problem. A lot of people have places down there, and there's Verbo and Airbnb and everything. There's a lot of things that are available. So I think even on short notice, you could get down there this weekend or next weekend. It's April the 19th and the 20th for everybody out there listening. We'll be going down Tuesday to set up, and then registration will be on the 18th, Thursday. And then we'll have a tournament, 2-day tournament. And then at the end of the day, we pay top 10 places, Koby?
Top 25.
25 places.
Top 25.
wow.
So top 25 first day, top 25 second day, and then a top 25 combined for the 2 days.
So, I mean, and we give, we have a lot of fishing rods to give away. We have a lot of door prizes, have a lot of ditty bag items. Everything's, it's a real good, it's a real good turnout for the oil field all together. And it's just it's a good place to come unwind. And like I said, fellowship is key.
You also mentioned networking is key when you're all getting together at night. Is there a place, someone once again is on the fence and they're like, man, I'd really wish I knew who was attending just to make sure I'm going to the right event here. Do you guys publish who's attending ahead of time or who's registered, or is it people in the past that who have attended, or at least maybe companies, prior sponsorships and attendance that might,
Well,
entice somebody to come?
since we just finished our sponsorships and everything, we haven't posted this year yet, but we posted last year. And it's all on the website under sponsorships and registration. The team list is in there. So everybody that's in there last year, we have a lot of return people. Our sponsorships are real steady. We have the same people that want to be involved with it every year. And so that'll be pretty much, available. They can get a good idea of what types of companies and what types of people are down there.
Do operators attend? Is it service companies that attend? Is it midstream? Do you have is it a good mix of everything, or is it, pushed more one way or another?
I think, from a sponsorship standpoint, it's mostly service companies, but we have a lot of operators that attend as fishermen or independents come out quite a bit and all that stuff to fish. So we have
It's a good cross section when you look at who attends and who comes, for sure. Yeah.
Perfect. That's what everybody, kind of wants to get in front of as many people as possible, right? And if it is too, as a niche event or something, that sometimes limits you, but it sounds like you guys got quite a few areas covered, especially in the chemical companies. I remember being a few of those last year. So that's great to hear. How, what is how do you get more companies involved like this? Is it just the fellowship and the networking? Is there, the getting away with? How do you show, that supporting something like this where their employees, are disappearing for about 3 days? It sounds like. How do you make the last minute sales pitch here to them? I'll give you each 30 seconds or a minute to, kind of wrap that up on, sell this to anybody out there who happens to come across the video. And we'll start with you, Dale.
Well, I mean, networking, of course, works, and people can reach out to us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or through our website and contact us that way about sponsorships and everything else. We've had a little, being that the event is not in Midland or Odessa, it has a little bit to overcome, but the networking is so big down there with 300, 400 people at times, 500 people at times, plus all the sponsors and what they do for us and everything like that. It's a really good place to reach out to each other on a level that's kind of, it's a more somber thing, especially when you're dealing with the Make-A-Wish, because you are dealing with children and you're dealing with children with issues, and to get together, that gives that common cause and really goes out to them. I don't know so much that we can do much more. We do have a spot on the board for anybody that wants to think about being on the board with us. There's 9 of us, and we have to keep 9 by our bylaws, and we're 1 short right now. So we need to fill that up pretty quick. So if anybody has an interest and want to get really involved and everything, especially for next year, it's going to be our 30th anniversary. So, come on, and we'll do the 30-year thing. And there's a couple of us that are getting long in the tooth, me for one, that is looking for new blood to come on and help us out and take us into the next 30 years.
I guess I kind of piggyback.
Sounds great. Connor, take it away.
Kind of piggybacking off of Dale, we're not the most highest paid out fishing tournament, right? You go to some of these tournaments and you get $5,000 for the first place. We're more of a camaraderie tournament, and we like to pride ourselves on giving back majority of our or all of our profits to Make-A-Wish. And I think you just have to go out there one time and you'll be hooked.
I think you're right there. In a lot of these tournaments, whether it's a clay shoot or anything, I don't think people are really attending because of the prize money. It's, the networking, who's going to be there, and, supporting a good cause. Koby, why don't you wrap it up for us? And give us the last minute pitch.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dale and Connor covered it really well. I mean, I think if somebody wanted to get involved or just to see what it's all about, I mean, I think we can always use more volunteers. And so if somebody wanted to reach out here at the last minute and say, hey, I'd like to come help, whether it's with weigh-in or whether the the evening events, I think we always need more people. And what Connor said is so true, because it's true. It's what happened to me. You go once and you're like, man, this is such a great event. And I just see people there now that I've been involved for a few years. You see people there every year, and it just feels like you're there with old friends. And even though you haven't seen them for a year, because everyone's aligned on the cause and understanding that this tournament, while it's great fun, it's great networking, it is to benefit Make-A-Wish, which is such a great organization, and we're aligned in trying to help kids from our region. And so I don't think anybody would regret getting involved. And if you think you want to get involved, just come try it out and you'll be hooked. Del Rio is what, a 3.5 hour drive, 3.5 to 4 hour drive from Midland. It's really not that far. We have to drive that far to go anywhere from Midland or Odessa. So, just reach out if you're interested in, and if whether it's volunteering or sponsorship. And we'd love to have as many people involved as we can.
Perfect. Well said, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me and letting me, try and contribute as much as I could here. Hopefully, we had a few people watch or attend, and hopefully the few people have reached out to tell about the tournament. They make the choice and try it out. I know I'm going to shout out Ricky Teodoro at Oxy there. I know he goes to Port Aransas and he does a bit of fishing down there, so I think he should try it and go to Del Rio one of these times. He won't regret it. Gentlemen, thank you once again, and coming to you from the heart of the Permian Basin, Tally Book Troubleshooting. I'm your host, Keith Stelter, brought to you by American Safety Services. And until the next time, that's how you troubleshoot. We'll see you next time, or we'll see you in Del Rio.
Thank you.